I know there's a family situation involved and it's highly unlikely, but can you see Miami coming back into the picture for Darren Branch after Luke's firing at Ole Miss? Yes. Darren Branch was committed to Miami for a long time because he wanted to come to Miami, I believe. Obviously, there is that family situation as reported with his grandfather being in failing health, but Miami is working to get Darren Branch to come for a visit either this week or next week before the early signing period, which is in only 16 days, and I'm so far behind. I haven't started any of the notebooks that I know y'all know and love on State of the U, but they take time and they take effort, and I have to watch this film and talk to people, and I am in the weeds, as they say. I mean, whoo boy, it is Thanksgiving morning, and I have not started any cooking, basically, is how that goes. That's the analogy. So it's going to be tough, but I've been in this situation before, both in college with term papers and things due at the end, and even last year with these same notebooks. But yeah, like I said, just transitioning to a new professional opportunity and job searching and things got me a little bit behind and whatnot, and just beginning this new path at the new secret day job and everything is time intensive, and I'll get it done for you guys. Things happening or being talked about. Devontae Brown, Selwyn Brown's son, a former Miami Hurricane and my former coworker. His son, Devontae Brown, from American Heritage as a 3-star cornerback. He's about 6'1", 175. He's coming in for an official visit to Miami this upcoming weekend, I believe, with his father, who again played on the national championship team or two at Miami. So yeah, there's that. The big recruiting weekend is going to be not this weekend, but next weekend of the 13th. That's when most of, if not all of the commits are supposed to take their official visits to Miami with a couple other selected guests. So the majority of the 2020 recruiting class should be on campus next weekend, which is going to be really big. And we'll see maybe a couple other visits coming up this weekend. I know that, like I said, Miami is working to get Darren Branch to come back and visit this weekend or next weekend. And some things are going to have to move around depending on state championship games and things like that and everything. So, yeah, recruiting is always a fluid construct. So we'll see. Miami's trying to get Keyshawn Green, the Florida State commit from Wakulla in the Panhandle, to come down this weekend. Hopefully next weekend with all the commits, but that might happen this weekend instead. Jesus Machado from Champagnat Catholic, Jalen Harrell, the safety who just committed, that's his high school teammate. He just got a Miami Hurricanes offer. Maybe he can be the replacement for AJ Mathis at linebacker, if not Green, or Justin Flo. Just putting the name out there because I know people are going to ask. If I was talking about linebackers, I had to say his name. Don't think he's coming, but hey, stranger things have happened. And for those wondering if Enos was fired, because, some people were talking about it, according to Andrew Ivins from 247 Sports, I just saw he tweeted that Dan Enos was on the road recruiting for the University of Miami today. So I find it hard to believe that he would be on the road recruiting for Miami currently, right now, if he'd been fired earlier in the day. Although I will say that I worked with a guy once who got fired at 9 o'clock in the morning at the end of his planning period as a teacher and decided to stay and work the rest of the day. And he's a better person than I, because absolutely not. So, hey, I've personally seen it. I don't think that that's the case here, but maybe.
Tyler Van Dyke mentioned a couple times in the live chat and in other weeks, some folks are extremely high on him. Is he as good a prospect as some people are mentioning here?
I think that he has incredible talent. He's 6'4", 215. The first play of his junior highlights, he flings the ball about 65 yards with the flick of a wrist, pretty much flat-footed. He does flip his hips on the throw, but it's not like he took a crow hop and 3 steps and, he's just kind of and it just, the ball sails. He's pretty good. He led his team to an undefeated New England prep school championship this year, which is awesome. I just looked up the stats. 61.5% completions, 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 139 rush yards, and 4 touchdowns in a 9-0 undefeated season. Those kind of stats and that kind of performance are pretty good. So, yeah, he does have talent. He's worked under center. He's worked in shotgun. He has worked, there are reads to be made, and every quarterback makes reads. You might just not have as complex of a system overall. But if you watch his highlights, he does make different reads, high-low reads, smash reads, all kinds of things like that. Is he a day one, play one person? I don't think so. But I think that your quarterback room is made better by having a Tyler Van Dyke, and hopefully, maybe it could be as a freshman, a true freshman, because obviously neither Jaron Williams nor N'Kosi Perry have a 100% hold on the quarterback job. I think it might be a year or two down the line for him to be a player who could, potentially challenge to start. But insofar as, adding a talented quarterback, which again is recruiting rule number one, you have to have a quarterback in every recruiting class. I think that you could do much worse than grabbing a Tyler Van Dyke. I think that he does have, probably a mid-level, not like a super low floor, but like a mid floor and a pretty decently high ceiling for, his development.